Hi people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new video. First of all, if you watched my last two videos and you're wondering why they look like they were filmed in reverse or backwards or flipped, it's because the feature where when you take a selfie or whatever and the camera flips it, I turned that feature off recently, so that's why the last two videos look like that. But now we're back to normal, so everything's fine. I just didn't notice that until I started editing, and I didn't want to refilm those two videos because I was very proud of the footage that I had created. So anyway, there's that in case you were wondering. Anyway, today's video is a part 2 to my favorite Asian historical fiction books. For those who don't know, historical fiction is one of my favorite genres, and I love it so much, so I'm very excited to film. The first book on this list is called Beneath the Wide Silk Sky. This story is a YA historical fiction following a young Japanese-American main character, and it's set right before World War II is about to start, which I think is so cool and it's so important. I really enjoy this book a lot because I loved the family dynamics. They felt so authentic and so well done. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The setting was clearly well researched, and I can tell that it's from the author's own ancestry, if that makes any sense. This book is so good. The story was so captivating and so interesting. The plot is so engaging and it's so well done. This book is really, really good and it's so underrated and it deserves so much more hype because everything about the story felt so like nuanced and immersive and interesting and very educational, and everything about it was so good. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Throwback. This story is a YA contemporary historical fiction. I know that like contemporary and historical fiction in the same sentence sounds kind of contradictory, but stay with me here. This follows a Korean main character from modern day who time travels back to the 1990s, meeting her mom as a teenager. So she's meeting her mom who's the same age that she is now, which is so fascinating and so interesting. If I time traveled and met my mom as a teenager, that would be so completely interesting and so fascinating given what I know now from her as my mom, if that makes any sense, which is what the main character experiences. And I think that this story is so interesting and so fascinating because it really like talks about like what would happen if this were to happen. I don't know if that made any sense, but this book is so good and it's just so awesome, and it talks a lot about like the immigrant experience and like just like Asian immigrant experiences in the 90s, and also like the impact of what would happen then in modern day. I don't know if that makes any sense, but anyway, the plot is super engaging and super intriguing. The setting is well researched and it's well done. The characters are well developed and distinct. This book is really, really good. It's like if Totally Killer, that movie, like went so much deeper and nuanced than it was. I don't know if anything I'm saying makes any sense, but basically overall this book was really, really good and I really, really enjoyed it. So with that said, I would definitely highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Like a Love Story. This story is a YA historical fiction following a young Iranian-American main character who is exploring queer self-expression and living his life to the fullest during the 1980s AIDS epidemic. This story is absolutely so beautiful and it's so lyrical and it's truly so good and so emotional. The 1980s AIDS epidemic is not a time period that I honestly know a whole lot about, and reading about it through the perspective of a queer person is so incredibly important, and the perspectives worked so well in this book because the characters seem so real and so honest, and I just really, really enjoyed them because they're based on such like authentic expressions and authentic experiences, and they came to life so well. I don't really know if that makes any sense. This is the third video that I'm filming today, so maybe I'm just burnt out from filming. But anyway, this book is so good. The dynamic between the three characters was done so well. The romance is so cute and it's so well paced. The setting is so good. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. Everything about this book is so good and it's so well done. I just really, really enjoyed being so immersed in the story from the beginning and to the end. And this is a time period that I will definitely research more about. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called I Am Kavi. The story is a middle-grade historical fiction following a Sri Lankan main character in 1998 at a new school during the Sri Lankan Civil War, and it talks about like wanting to fit in, and she's at a new school, and this book is so good. I love it so much. First of all, the setting is so well done, and it's so well researched. I love it when I'm reading a historical fiction story and the main conflict doesn't really have anything to do with the time period. Like, it is related to the time period, kind of, but it's also not, because I think it's so important to read about stories like that are set during time periods that are in the past, but they have the same kind of conflicts that we deal with in modern day too, because it feels like it kind of like almost humanizes the characters. Because sometimes when I feel like we read history or we read about it in school or whatever, we remove ourselves from it and we separate ourselves from it because in the past it's done for, it's already happened. But I feel like when you read about stories about characters that feel like real people that go through the same real issues, like wanting to fit in with your peers and everything and wanting to be accepted by them, it almost humanizes the experiences. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I feel like it's important to read these stories because we can't really separate ourselves from the past, because the present is intertwined with the past and history will always repeat itself. Again, I don't really know if that makes any sense at all, and I digress, but the story is so well done. The setting is awesome. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The free-verse format is so lyrical and it's so pretty. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. I love the family dynamics. I love everything about this book. This book is so fantastic. I just really, really enjoyed every single second of it because it felt so immersive and so well done and so well paced and well written in every single element. So anyway, with all of that said, I would definitely highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Displacement. This story is a YA historical fiction graphic novel. It follows a teenager from modern day who's pulled back in time to her grandmother's time period during World War II. And as a Japanese American, you can imagine what that was like. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so good. And I love the perspective of a main character from modern day who's witnessing a piece of history that she wasn't really taught about in school, which really goes to show how the holes of history are often hidden, and that's really fascinating when it comes to what will the future generations learn about this generation, if that makes any sense. I'm a history buff, if you couldn't tell. But anyway, the point is, this book is absolutely so fantastic and it's so good. The illustrations are so pretty, and they really make the story come to life so much more because the art is so vivid and so stunning. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. Like, everything about it is so good. The characters are so well developed and so distinct, and I just love it so much. And I just love, like, the perspective. Like, everything about this book is so good, and I just really, really enjoyed it. So with that said, I would definitely highly, highly recommend it. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called Only This Beautiful Moment. This story is a YA historical fiction contemporary that follows 3 generational perspectives from 2019, 1978, and 1939, and it talks about generational trauma and the ways in which your parents were parented by their parents and how that impacts how they parented you, if that makes any sense. This book is so excellent and it's so well done. And I loved the 3 perspectives so much. And I loved how it explained how they each became the person that they are now in 2019 and the differences like between them, but also the similarities, because I don't know if I explained it, but the 3 perspectives are related because they're the grandfather, the father, and the son. And the son's in 2019, so it's like, I don't know if that makes any sense. I hope it does. But anyway, this book is so excellent and it's so well done. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The family dynamics make so much sense and they feel so authentic individually as well. The historical fiction settings are each done so well. The queerness of it all is so good and so well done. everything about this book felt so nuanced and so emotional and just so good, and it all weaves together so well. This book is so iconic and it's so amazing. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. So in conclusion, I'm a history buff, if you didn't know. If you want anything from this video, that's what you should take away. And also from what I said earlier about how the horrors of history are often hidden, and that's why it's important to remember history and to learn about it. So anyway, I hope this video helped diversify your bookshelf, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up and comment down below the diamond emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!